Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Happy Wednesday, hockey think tankers. Welcome to another Short Shifts episode sponsored by Skate Tech. In case you didn't know, Skate Tech skate sharpening and equipment repair brings you NHL quality service at an affordable retail price. With over 23 years of sharpening equipment customizing experience, Skate Tech serves as your personal equipment manager, providing the highest quality skate sharpening, blade profiling, team uniforms, and equipment alterations available on the market today. Let Skate Tech help you take your on-ice performance to the next level with the edge the pros trust. Check them out at skatetechsharpening.com.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. We love you, and we got a great short shifts for you today. 10 minutes are on the clock. Jeffrey J. Hulavecchio has no idea what the topic is going to be, but should he choose to accept this challenge, we are going to have some fun today. Vex, GMBM, Mr. Starter Man, how we ready? You ready to go?
Yeah, I accept.
He accepts. Okay. You know what? I don't think we've talked about this yet. Let's talk one-timers. Let's talk one tease, baby.
I don't think we have ever talked about
I don't think we've talked about one-timers yet.
Wow.
And so I want to keep this broad, and I want to let you take it where you want it to go. If we're talking one-timers, what's like one or two things that you feel like are really important that kids should know about one-timers?
I mean, what I would say is get really good at one-timing the puck no matter where the pass is. Like one-timers beat goalies because of the pass, not because you take an extra second to put absolutely everything you possibly can into it. The pass is what's beating the goalie. And as you get to the higher levels, you have less and less and less time, space, area to get that one-timer off. All somebody who's got to be really good at it defensively is get their stick around the puck to deflect it out of the way, or their shin pads in the lane or whatever. So it's way more important to get it off quickly. And, you look at a player like Crosby. I mean, if the puck's 5 feet in front of him or 5 feet behind him, he's still getting the shot off, right? And if you don't score when you get that shot off quicker, because it's a one-timer, the goalie is usually sliding across, and they're not always under control when they have to make kind of that desperation slide across. And that's where if he does get a piece of it, they're almost never able to control the rebound. So it's even more important to get it off quickly, because if you take longer and you're a guy who backs up away from the puck, back, try and tickle the ceiling, and then, everything into it, the longer that you take to get it off, the more set the goalie can be to control a rebound if there is one, right? So I think the most important things are, number one, be able to get it off like as quick as you can. You don't need to tickle the ceiling. It doesn't mean never, but you don't need to most of the time. And number two, be able to get it off no matter where the pass goes.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. So when I was at Michigan, pregame skates, I would feed Adam Fantilli a lot of pucks. I don't know, 75 to 100 pucks in a pregame skate at the end of it. And he didn't want a good pass. That was one of the cool things. He didn't want a good pass. He wanted me. If I made a good pass, it was a bad pass. Like he wanted it behind him. He wanted him in front of him. He wanted him in his feet. And his job was, hey, like I can shoot a puck easily when the pass is perfect. But how often are you going to get a perfect pass in a game, right? And so leading scorer in the country that year. and another one, I remember when we did our Hockey Think Tank conference. What was that, 2018, 2019, whatever it was. And one of our guest speakers was Derek Lalonde, who's an assistant coach for Toronto now. But at the time, he was an assistant coach with Tampa, and he's been the head coach of the Red Wings here as well. And he did a video on like what makes the best players in the world, and what's it like working with the best players in the world. And so he showed a bunch of clips of Steven Stamkos taking one-timers and in games, from that spot, that Ovechkin spot. And a lot of the passes were really bad passes. And that was one of the points, was like, he is out there taking those shots after practice, before practice, all the time. And it's not like every pass is not created equally. Right. And so again, it's just the reps, and here you go. You got two of, top players in the world in Fantilli and Stamkos, right? Don't give me good passes.
I mean, I used to tell the coaches that when I was coaching the first 2 years after I retired, like in certain drills, when you're a coach giving a pass, you want it to be, dialed. But a lot of times I would tell the players, like if it was like, coach has got to pop out a puck for a second shot, I would tell them for the drill, these passes are not going to be where you want them. And I need you to get them off as quick as you can, as hard as you can. And like, don't complain about them, because like I'm literally purposely going to put them in uncomfortable positions for you. Mm-hmm. And it was something that we made a point of. And I think it's really important that now, obviously, if you're passing the puck to a 6-year-old, maybe you're not doing that right. But in certain drills, you should be purposely doing that, especially if you're like working on skills with coaches. The passes should not be perfect passes every single time. You definitely want to work on catching it off your inside foot of your skate, catching it off your outside foot of your skate, finding a way to get around it and shoot it if it's too far out in front of you, far back behind you. Like really work on that stuff, because like Toph said, 2-on-1s, the D-man gets a little bit of a stick on it, or the puck bounces and you got to find a way to time that bounce and still get a piece of it and try and get it in. Like you got to work on these things, because every pass is definitely not going to be a perfect pass. And at the higher levels, there's a saying, and everyone knows it: you can't give a good player a bad pass.
100%, man. Well, let's get to the actual mechanics of a one-timer. And the one thing that I want to ask you, particularly as a strength coach, is a lot of people think one-timer or slap shots, let's just call it, but particularly one-timers, is all like the shoulders and the upper body. And in reality, you get your power from your core and your butt and your legs. And so and your legs.
Damn, you ain't got no legs.
But just talk about the mechanics of taking a one-timer and how, the core and kind of like your choral region, they're an important part of it.
Well, you got to make sure that you have, the better your hip mobility and T-spine, thoracic spine, that's like the middle of your back, the better you have the ability to rotate with your hips open up. It's just going to allow you to get deeper and transfer power easier. And like we said, and this is something I demonstrate at the gym all the time, with being able to be strong through your thoracic rotation, your mid-back rotation, is that, you can reach back for a puck if it's here. I mean, you watch like some of the best players who are great shooters, like Austin Matthews. Sometimes his legs are straight and he's rotating his body. That's tricking the goalie, but it's also like he can release it from all these different points to be deceptive, and also like use his lower body through his core. It's called your oblique slings, kind of go in like X fashions, and it's kind of like a slingshot when you know how to use them. So like, yes, you want to get down deep. Crosby made it famous, dropping down to one knee. And sometimes that's because the pass was bad and he needed to find a way to get leverage on it. And other times it just makes sense to maybe do that and get low, because you can also flex a stick and use the technology in the stick and use your lower body, your glutes, your cheeks, and your core with that rotation to kind of slingshot that puck.
Nice. I like that. For time's sake here, there's another thing that I wanted to bring up that I think this is really important. I go back to like my playing days even, and that is confidence is a really important thing with a one-timer, I feel like. And I think that like the best, like the players with the best one-timers have confidence in it, and a lot of that is earned through repetition. But at the same time, I feel like a one-timer, you have to attack the puck. Like you're going at the puck, not letting the puck come to you, if that makes any sense. And so like the mindset has to be confident. I'm attacking, like, do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining it right.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like,
I know what you're saying. Yeah. You have to, it's like, you want it to feel like you hit a baseball and you don't even feel it, because you just like, you swung through the ball and it hit it on the right spot of the bat. The same thing with the one-timer. Like you need to attack the puck, like Toph's saying. You don't want to sit back. And then one more thing too is like, if you're somebody who takes a lot of one-timers, like if you're in the one-timer position on the power play because you have a great one-timer, you also want to make sure you're using the right stick technology. Like for me, I used a super low kick stick, but that would hurt my one-timers because I took like a lot of snapshots. Like all my shots were like leaning into it snapshot. And for whatever reason, the way that I shot the puck, I really liked a low kick stick. But because of that, when I would take one-timers off hard passes, they could blow up on my stick if I was trying to tickle the ceiling. So I would have to take like way more, like I learned it from Jamal Mayers one summer when he was playing for the Blues. It was more like a wrist shot type of sweeping one-timer that helped me control the puck. But that was because of the type of stick that I used, because I didn't take a lot of one-timers in games. I was standing in front getting the one-timer shot at me. So I didn't need to change my stick because that wasn't something I did a lot. So that is something to think about too. If you have the puck blowing up a lot, it could be you're using the wrong type of kick point on your stick or the wrong flex or something like that.
There you go. Boom. All right, guys. Time's up. Share the show. 1T, baby.
Sure.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.